No. This morning, there's been an update on the Twisty situation as she went live to talk about the video that was leaked. In a tweet, she linked to a YouTube video, and in that video, she had some explosive allegations. Now, I don't know what Niji's gonna do about this. I feel like this has to be addressed. And she talks about multiple stuff. A lot of stuff we already knew, but definitely given more weight to them. Before yesterday, there was another Twisty recording that was leaked where she said a bunch of, horrible stuff, basically racist stuff, transphobic stuff, misandrous stuff, saying all men are mentally ill and hope she dies, saying her fan base, wasn't giving her any money. That's why she's spamming collabs. And it looked really bad. But in that stream, this is important for context. She also talks about Nijisanji. And she complains about the company, again, saying that they hate her and stuff.
To those people, those ugly fucking models that they pay nothing for, take all of our income. I'm so sick of pronouns. You're so fucking annoying. Why are all men just mentally? I don't know. Like, they're literally all the same. Bear has a fucking mental breakdown because he thinks that we're actually dating or something. And he messages me and spams me non-stop because he can't understand.
Okay, guys are I'm gonna pick.
Yeah, men are fucking mentally ill and I think they should all die, honestly.
This is old news. This is what happened 2 days ago. I just wanted to put this in context. After this, Twisty apologized, but this morning at 9:22 a.m. EST, she tweeted a sincere apology and my truth. And then she went live on YouTube and revealed a lot more information. And the thing is, when the first leaks came out, right, it looked really, really bad on her. And a lot of people, especially Nijisanji fans, started saying that you see how, crazy she is, you see how Manhara she is. She probably lied about the Aster stuff. Because of those, the recording that got leaked, there was a lot of people doubting the Aster allegations. Now, Twisty in this recording says a lot more about Aster that's very interesting.
Hello, everyone. It's been a while. I want to start off by saying that this stream is somewhat scripted. There are a lot of things I do want to address today, and I'd like to keep my thoughts somewhat organized. I want to acknowledge, first off, that what I'm about to say, I don't want this to come off as an attack on anyone or to try and justify the things that I've said or done. I just want to share with you my truth and my experience and my feelings about everything that's happened, I guess. I want to say that I'm genuinely sorry. I know it's hard to believe coming from someone who said all of that disgusting stuff, and I don't know, I guess I just want to say that I do wish to be a better person. I didn't say that statement to try and, get apologies for me. I know that I want to be a better person going forward, and that's something that is not going to change and will not change. I think it's kind of hard to believe for a lot of people when I say that I'm not the person I was a few months ago, and that's okay. I don't think I'm totally 100% formed, I'm not perfect, but I do think that your life experiences can shape the person that you are, and I think a lot of people maybe have misunderstood me, and so I just want to clarify. I did used to think that words were just words, and that is true.
At first, she, mostly apologizes, and then she starts talking more about her experience within the company.
Everything I said just had no meaning, and I didn't say things because I hated people or I was angry with them. I just said them to say them without even thinking at all. But just in the past few months, since meeting a lot of people and kind of expanding my worldview, I really do not think that way anymore. I kind of realize now that words do have meanings, and implications and everything. It can really hurt. And these are things that I genuinely do regret, and I really intend to never repeat. And I'm truly truly sorry if I've hurt you, and I hope that regardless of forgiveness that you'll be able to heal from my words. That being said, I do want to clarify a few things that I've seen. First off, me deleting my posts had absolutely nothing to do with my statement.
Okay, because she deleted a post from her Twitter, and because of that, people were like ratting about it. People were saying that her Twitter posts have been wiped as a day ago. I'm not sure how to reply directly, but I'm sorry if I worried you. It's still a work in progress, but I've decided to remove my posts because I feel like a lot of them come from a place of kind of negative emotions. Things are looking up for me. So I guess I just want things to feel more positive.
I was not aware of the video being leaked until I think a few hours after it had been posted to YouTube. And I had already kind of felt like I was on the path to become a kinder, more positive person. And that was, I don't know, it was the point I was like, well, I feel like maybe my personal accounts should reflect that. Also, you know, I've never and I will never post any sort of like anti-LGBT or racist rhetoric. I'm not a political streamer. I don't intend to be. I believe that these are changes that kind of need to be made in my personal life. And I just don't want my community to be one that's made out of hatred. And also, maybe this is stupid to bring up, but I'm gonna say it regardless. Yes, I hate yaoi. I'm personally not attracted to anime men, so it's kind of a two is worse than one situation for me. Any tweets regarding it were just in reference to my friends talking about BL in the group chat and me just poking fun at them for it. And I guess moving on, I'm sorry if this is switching topics, but I also do want to speak about my experience. I mean, I'm sure a lot of you aren't really surprised to see a stream like this for me, but kind of a lot about if this was something I even wanted to get into, but I know there are a lot of rumors and speculation going around, so I do want to speak about my experience, you know, at my job and with certain people. And I guess, you know, I want to put it out there that this isn't really something that I wanted to be sensationalized. I feel like it's a really personal and emotional matter to me, and I never intended for things to end up this way, and I do feel sorry that they have. I guess I'll start with the job part. So, you know, something that was kind of once presented as a dream opportunity, well, it very quickly just turned into a lot of disappointment and disillusionment. And over the past year, I received very little of the support I was promised. I'm sorry if this is all gonna come out as blunt, but this is just my personal experience working, and I know other people have very varied ones. So this isn't meant to be like, oh, well, you know, this person is lying. Because some people, I do believe, have had positive experiences, but this is just mine. So the entire environment was it was filled with constant, ongoing delays, and a lot of the communication was very unclear and lacking. And
I feel like this is sort of a repeat of the, you know, bad work environment that Selene spoke about around her termination time as well.
I feel that overall, it was just a very toxic and uncomfortable work culture.
Toxic and uncomfortable work culture.
When I joined, we were asked to delete all personal and professional social media accounts and to step away from any existing jobs, IRL or otherwise, to commit fully to this new opportunity.
That's crazy that they're also encouraged not only to step away from voice acting jobs or, you know, any content creation jobs, but also any jobs IRL, so they can focus fully on this opportunity and then get shackled with Nijisanji and watch what she says next.
And in return, I received what I feel like was minimal support and visibility and promotion to be able to sustain myself throughout the new transition. Because of a lot of unforeseen delays that followed shortly after onboarding, I went nearly 8 months without steady income. The majority of my first paycheck was used to cover required work-related expenses.
That was also something echoed in her leaks. Remember when False ID made that video with the Twisty leaks? That was something that was mentioned in those DMs as well. She said something like, oh, 90% of my paycheck went to work expenses and said that she didn't get paid for like 8 months. Also, somebody else who's echoed this exact pattern from Niji was Zion Lanza. And remember, she wrote one girl's story. In there, she talks about her interview with Nijisanji. When I received the first email asking me to interview with Nijisanji, I confirmed the time slot that they had already listed as an offer and waited. However, I realized that the day of that I still didn't have a link to the online interview call. Exactly 4 minutes before I was meant to be on the call, I messaged them again to ask for the meeting links. Then 2 minutes after the confirmed meeting time, they sent me a new email with the link. The interview itself felt fine. There were 2 people on the call. It felt like they were asking questions based on the answers I gave, which made me feel like they were listening and did care about the person I was. There wasn't any information told to me regarding specifics of their company, like how they ran things differently from other VTubers or talent agencies. Things like being unable to use my current social media or streaming accounts forever, versus simply for a short amount of time. Being unable to use any current game accounts or allowing certain things, none of that was included, as it was a simple interview. What was interesting came at the very end though. I had mentioned that I previously had a job at a tech company. One of the interviewers, who hadn't said a single thing until then, asked me in Japanese how much I used to make as an independent streamer. I told him how much from subscriptions, sponsorships, etc., and he responded, Then immediately following that, he asked how much I used to make at my tech job. I answered that I actually made less than I currently did as a streamer. He gave me the same and said he had no further questions. I thought, well, if they're going to ask questions like that, then I'll ask one that I wasn't sure if I could ask. And I asked, do you guys have a monthly salary or minimum per month that you pay to your talents? That interviewer answered, no. But I can tell you that if you sign under us, that you'll make more than you're making right now. I'll never forget that. But at the time, the compensation structure was not discussed. Fast forward to the 21st of August, I made it through to the final interview with the CEO. This was the only time in the entire time I had been there that I would get to even see his presence in my or the talent's vicinity, let alone speak with him. He asked questions that I thought were very good and well thought out. Things such as, what kind of character do you want to play? To which I answered, I'm usually the anti-hero. I like saying things that make people laugh or surprise or shock them. I love getting reactions out of people. He also asked how much I wish to act for my future character on stream. I said that depends on how much content the company and I end up expecting of myself. I do shorter hours per day. Then of course that makes it easier to keep up a persona further from myself. I do longer hours like I'm used to doing, however, then it would be easier if I was being more myself. Again, nothing regarding how they run the company or what they expected me to give up was mentioned. Around the end of October is when we were finally able to start planning for our debut. I had experience debuting as a VTuber for my own activities, so I was familiar with all the elements needed and how to manage planning with all the different people I'd work with. Regarding the question of what was needed for the debut and subsequent streaming activities, the managers informed that nothing is really required. It's up to you how much or how little you want to have for it. I personally incurred the cost of planning a successful debut. Our lore was written ourselves. I had to find people who had the skill set needed for the graphics and animation myself and pay for them myself. By the time we debuted, I was already hugely in the red. And in order to plan and execute a debut befitting of a talent of such a big company, it's a pattern. They tell you to quit your jobs, allegedly. They kind of lock you in, so you place all your eggs into the Nijisanji basket. You have to front a hugely expensive debut, just like Twisty did. And then by the time you debut, you're hugely in the red, and then you gotta work even harder to try to make that up. Now, Twisty claims that she went nearly 8 months without a steady income due to company delays. I don't know if it's because their debut was delays or other delays. And then she says that her first paycheck was almost entirely used to cover required work-related expenses. And then she states that posting publicly on social media was the only way I ever received any form of response from my job, as private communications was consistently ignored. And there was also, Doki Bird, who paid $200,000 of her own money for projects. Actually, I forgot about that.
Mr. Man has been helping out a lot. When he's like, what do you want to do? And I was like, I want to do so many projects. I want to host events. I want to host events with so many different indies and different companies in the West and everything. And then Mr. Man was like, we can get sponsors for that. I was like, and he was like, yeah, you don't have to pay out of your own pocket anymore. I was like, what? I was like, wait. And that blew my mind. By the way, my mom scolded me about this because, during all of this, she looked at my financials and I made 0 profit last year. She was like, Dookie, you have to spend less. You spent $200,000 last year. And I was like, that hurt. Oh, that hurt. But then when Mr. Man was like, all those projects you want to do, all of that you want to do, you don't have to, you won't be spending $200,000. It just blew my mind. It blew my mind. I couldn't.
So this is kind of a pattern with Niji. This is the third person that kind of repeats the same thing. They tell you, oh, it's up to you, to spend as little as how much for your Nijisanji debut. We don't have any requirement. Basically, that just means we're not really financing anything. So it's up to you how much you want to invest. It's your first introduction to the world. You want to make an impact. Obviously, there's a bar that you need to reach. You spend a lot of money. And then after that, you gotta stream a fuck ton to pay that back. And we know what Nijisanji's revenue splits are like.
In the company, I will try and clarify a little later what I mean by that. The individual in question had a known history of manipulation and targeting new hires, especially women. Despite this, required work-related expenses. In July 2024,
In July 2024.
I raised concerns about inappropriate behavior and misconduct within the company. I will try and clarify a little later what I mean by that. The individual in question had a known history of manipulation and targeting new hires, especially women.
She's referring to Aster here, I believe, or people believe. And keep in mind, Twisty debuts May 2024.
Despite this, I was told that no action would be taken due to fear of retaliation. These issues were not new. They had even been brought up long before I had joined, but no meaningful steps were ever taken to address them.
It's weird. Like, she even says that these allegations are not new. So basically saying that people knew about his behavior, but no meaningful steps were taken. People had spoken about it before. Maybe she's talking about the Raziel doc. Like, remember Raziel? It was Luca Kaneshiro's ex-mod. And one part of her document was talking about Aster Acadia harassing other coworkers. I can confirm that Luca said that multiple girls were coming to him about the issue since management wouldn't do anything. And he discussed it with both Elira and I. I pretty told him to gather as much evidence as possible and bring it to management since it shouldn't be Luca's and Elira's job to regulate this issue. And to my understanding, nothing was done about it. To help you with clarity, I remember that incident, it was Aster. Another Nijisanji liver confirmed by DM the Aster allegations after this had been made public. So this is not the first time we hear these allegations. It's not even the first time that somebody says that it's been brought up to management and that management doesn't do anything about it. Yeah, and this was in February. So she debuts in May 2024.
I feel like the toll this took on me was severe. My mental health wasn't really in a good place to begin with, and it deteriorated to the point where I could no longer function as I once had. I had to withdraw from multiple voice acting opportunities because I couldn't even get myself to record for anything without just breaking down and crying. And I remember one time sitting in front of my desk in a waiting room for like 10 minutes, and I was just sitting there trying to calm myself down and, be able to entertain my fans, but I ended up just ending the stream before it even began because I had broken down in tears and I really just could not get myself to stop crying.
Damn.
It felt like the entire time no one believed me and that I had to stay quiet despite what I was going through. I was told not to speak about this with anyone, not with my coworkers, no one, just to never speak of it or mention it again.
Who told her never to speak about it or mention it again? Was it management? Like, what is she?
I felt like I just couldn't risk showing what was really going on to the world, and because of that, I made a lot of mistakes. Together with some of my coworkers, I pleaded for the situation to be taken seriously.
Okay, so she ganged up with some of her coworkers and they brought it up to management once again.
We emphasized that without proper intervention, the consequences would fall on everyone. But still, nothing had changed. In November 2024, staff were made aware that private conversations had been leaked online. We urged them to respond or prepare for the fallout of everything. Nearly a month passed.
Maybe it was
No
on 4chan.
communication nor action until the video was published, and public backlash forced the situation kind of out into the open. I was then instructed to take a break from my work following an announcement of an investigation. Despite
So this is probably when she got self-suspended and they announced the investigation. Where is it? This part. They announced the investigation here. Third-party investigation, which we're still waiting for the results, by the way. And they're saying they're investigating both. The investigation will focus on the issues of sexual harassment and unauthorized information leakage to outside parties. The first leak was Salvi, but the first leak was, and we have that, first Aster cooking stream that's still delayed to this day. Now pushed back to July 24th, by the way, over 6 months ago. Yeah, we have investigated ourselves and found no problem. At this point, I've given up on any hope of them concluding this investigation. I feel like they were just trying to buy time for us to forget about this.
I never once felt that my concerns were ever meaningfully addressed. Most conversations focused not on resolving the matter, but on managing my exit. I remember
That's crazy.
the first call we had, for I would say 80% of it, I was explaining Vtuber culture and kind of what Vtubers were. And for the other 20%, I explained my experience with this person. And, I felt like I didn't have very much time to really delve into everything, and I was told that they would follow up and we'd speak more, and that never happened.
Damn, that we were also told that there would be a follow-up. The public was told there would be a follow-up on that investigation, and guess what? Nothing also happened. We want the results of that investigation, Niji. It's crazy because every single day, I have notifications on for Nijisanji's Twitter, and every single day, every time there's a notification, I look because I'm like, one day, we're gonna get the results of this. We're gonna get a conclusion for this. And nope, it's just them promoting stuff, trying to bury this controversy, debuting new waves.
Pretty much happened because after pushing and pushing for a response on anything, I eventually kind of broke down and said, I want to quit, I want out. And immediately they kind of got back to me, and everything following that was details surrounding my leave and my exit. But to this day, I'm not confident any real investigation ever took place.
What? Wait, so she didn't get any questions? She didn't get interviewed for the investigation?
They were very clear in not admitting fault in any way. I want to be honest, at one point there were talks of a settlement, and I personally do not believe that if they truly did nothing wrong, that would have been something that they even considered. But ultimately, it's something that I had decided against.
Do you guys realize how crazy that sentence is? That there were talks of settlement? So what, she got offered money for what? Staying quiet or leaving? Like, what's going on here? What does she mean by this?
And I want to make it clear that I do have documentation to support my claims, including acknowledgements from the person involved. And I'll talk a bit more about that later. Their behavior has been reported to staff so many times over the years, and it has been well documented and recognized as an issue.
Okay, and yet...
On top of this, another coworker had leaked my outfit just 10 minutes after I had privately shared it.
This is another insane thing. Another coworker had leaked her outfit just 10 minutes after she had privately shared it. Because you know, the other day, before yesterday, when I did the stream, I said, this is the third Twisty leaks. The first Twisty leaks were the DMs that False covered in his video. The second Twisty leaks was her outfit, which was leaked on forums. And the third Twisty leaks is the recording that we have from 2 days ago. And there is speculation as to who that coworker is. There were speculations before this morning about who it was because there was a lot of weird things going on.
Not only did they expose something that I was really excited to be able to reveal to my fans and community, but they also added a lot of very mean and what I believe were manipulative comments to stir up drama and attempt to implicate me. What I feel like should have been a really happy moment was just completely ruined. I am gonna try and shed some light onto that other situation now, and I'm gonna be honest, this is gonna be kind of a very difficult conversation for me. I'm sorry that if I cannot convey myself properly, there are a lot of things that have happened, so I apologize that this is not as conclusive as it should be, or if things are out of place in terms of time or missing proper context. So, when I first met this person, they were very friendly, and we had bonded over games. They kept pushing me to play games, and although I really didn't want to, I eventually agreed because I just wanted to have a good relationship with all of my coworkers. Over time, their behavior really started to shift. I feel like once they felt more comfortable, they began calling me more often, making extremely flirty comments.
Sorry, so she started talking about Aster. That's why I stopped the stream, because I wanted to talk about who people believe. These are speculations, by the way, so put a big grain of salt on it. People are speculating about who this person that leaked her outfit was. They were speculating about it before the stream this morning even aired. A few days ago on June 8th, Twisty made this tweet. It's a vague tweet saying, maybe it makes me a mean person, but it hurts me to see others celebrating and revealing surprises when they were the one who ruined that opportunity for me. And that was tweeted one day after Reimu revealed a new outfit. And then the day that the Twisty recording dropped 2 days ago, when she was saying like all these crazy stuff in that private conversation, Reimu's alt tweeted this, damn, well, anyways, and then a bunch of hearts. So people are connecting dots, and they believe that the person who might have leaked her outfit might be Reimu. Now, of course, this is a rat, and it's not confirmed. But a lot of people are echoing that sentiment. There was some people saying that in her live stream comments. There's some people tweeting that on Twitter, saying, streaming her apology at the same time someone she is very vocally salty over is having an outfit debut. I see what you did here. And indeed, that apology was streamed at the same time Reimu was debuting her new outfit. She literally, like 1 hour when I was doing this, when I was putting this together, I grabbed a screenshot, and that tweet was 1 hour ago. New outfit revealed now, and 16 minutes before I grabbed the screenshot. Thank you again for coming. So it was literally right on top of each other. Oi, you. Yeah, you. Hi. If you're not subscribed to my second channel, I don't know what you're doing with your life. So take a moment, press the like button, press the subscribe button, and hit that notification bell on. And thank you so much. I appreciate you. Now let's get back into the video. Is Nuzagi in chat? I think Nuzagi wanted to hop in.
Wow.
Wow, the rats are winning today.
Dude, what the hell? I just fucking woke up, right? And then I got inundated. I saw your news, right? It's like, oh my god, there's a part 2. I thought she already replied, and I look at it, it's like, oh my god, no, it's not. It's different. It's something else now. Holy crap.
Yeah.
That's really all I can say. I'm so sorry.
I know. Did you listen? About the part about Reimu?
Yeah, that's where I just joined in like 5 minutes ago. So that's when you started talking about the Reimu stuff, and like, oh my god, wait, really?
Yeah. Well, a bunch of things, we're going over it. A lot of Aster allegations. First, she does the apology. It's kind of weak whatever.
Okay.
It doesn't really change what she said.
Yeah.
I think what matters most is what she decides to do from now on. But then there's all these allegations about Nijisanji talking about how her pay was delayed for 8 months. This was something that was also said in the leaks, how her first paycheck was made to cover almost
Her debut.
her debut, almost all of it. And then there's some more Aster allegations saying how this was brought up multiple times to management and nothing was done about it. And then she ganged up with some other livers and they brought more evidence to management. And then after that, the leaks happened and then the false video happened and then she was put on forced hiatus. But throughout all of this, basically, the talks were repeatedly more on her exit rather than any, like, it just felt like Nijisanji wasn't really making any efforts to, fix the Aster allegation, or like they didn't really care. There was also, she said that she was offered a settlement and she said that she believed that
legal settlement?
I don't know. She just said settlement. So,
Holy
and
shit.
she says she doesn't believe that, if he was innocent, that they would have offered a settlement. And then she said that, there was her model was leaked by a coworker 10 minutes after she privately showed it.
How long are you into it?
Oh, yeah.
18?
She also
okay.
said she doesn't believe any investigation took place. But like how? Because during an investigation, you go and you interview every coworker. Like there's question that this has been going on for 6 months. How could she believe that there was no investigation that happened? She was at the center of it, so obviously they would have asked her questions.
Maybe they haven't. Like, holy. Oh, okay. So, a question, Rima. Do you what's your take in all of this? Like, how much do you believe in all of this?
Well,
Like you personally, Yeah.
Well, everything she said is nothing new. It's showing a real pattern so far. But I want to take a look at the rest of the stream right now.
About
Okay.
my appearance.
Hi, Blade. Oh, do you want to stream it over to me on Discord as well?
They would often
Just so I can watch it with you?
Yeah.
specific things or
Okay, thank you.
quotes or phrases for them so that they could hear it in my voice.
God
They
damn,
would bring
dude.
my ASMR in a way that made me feel extremely, extremely uncomfortable. They would want to call with me more and more.
Now she's talking about Aster again, and she's saying
Yeah,
that they got first they were gaming, and then it was starting to get a little bit weird.
It was a working horse.
Really familiar and constantly just putting me down, calling me weird, asking if I was mentally disabled or had Tourette's, and
Whoa.
claiming that
Right? He just made a bunch of
Whoa.
weird comments about her.
She has Tourette's. I'm so sorry for laughing, but like, whoa.
I know.
this really hurt at the time, but I later found out from another coworker that this wasn't true and that manipulation and bullying were just a pattern of his. I
Okay.
remember one time we were in call and they just kept repeating like, why can't you be normal? Why can't you just be normal? And I don't know, as someone who's never really fit in, I feel like it just kind of hit very hard. But during one of these calls, they brought up the idea of meeting up in Japan, and I've always been a shy person, but I also struggle with severe agoraphobia. Even something as simple as going to the grocery store can end in a panic attack for me, which is something that I had already mentioned before. When they suggested meeting up, I kind of explained again that I wouldn't feel comfortable, and I even said that if I were in Japan, I probably wouldn't leave my hotel room. Their response made me kind of uneasy. Instead of respecting the boundary that I had set, they kept pushing, saying that I didn't really seem like that type of person to him. They would
Okay.
continue with things like,
What does that even
we
mean?
were in Japan together.
Oh no, that was something she said in the leak too, that he was, what did he say in the leak? That he wanted to fly her to Japan or some shit?
Which I stated, like, regardless of who was with me, I would still feel extremely uncomfortable. And
Understandable.
said, what if I was in Japan with you and I held your hand?
So, yeah, I can see him like doing the finger poke, or he's just pointing his finger together. Like, what if I was in Japan with you? Would you be comfortable? Ooh.
The people shy? The people shy thing? Oh
Yeah, yeah.
man.
That's so fucking funny. I'm so sorry. Oh god, it's like I feel bad because it's like a bad situation for her, but like, oh my god.
No, it's bad
It's
for, but
actually-
he's cringe. He's creepy.
Yeah, I know. Yes,
Nah, man.
Oh my god. Okay, keep going.
Like, this is physical cringe.
I
He
know.
followed up with, "What if I hugged you?"
No.
No.
Repeated that I still wouldn't feel comfortable then, and what I interpreted to be a very, very flirty tone, they had said, "What if we just stay in my hotel room together all day?" Sometime after this, I was invited to Japan under the pretense that they had not many people for their event and they really, really needed me. I later found out that this was completely false. They
What?
had more than enough people for the event, and I feel like they were just trying to guilt trip me to try to get me to show up. And thinking about it, I don't think I'm a very smart person. I felt
That is so manipulative of him to lie about this. So she goes to Japan to show up for his event.
uncomfortable, but
It's
I
like
wanted
actual. Remember that
best.
grooming? Remember? Sorry, Reams. Do you remember that whole how to like how a lot of people groom in these sort of behavior that you Parrot and I like taught you about like a year ago or something?
Yeah, you were saying that about
It
VTubers, yeah, or small
Yeah,
VTubers.
this is exactly that. This is like, oh my god, it's so disgusting. I am so sorry.
Ugh.
Okay, keep going.
You know,
She is very young.
if I was financially able, I probably would have went because I want to be a good coworker.
Oh, okay, she didn't go, but she found out she lied to him. Okay, thank God.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
want to
yeah.
be a good friend, and thinking about like what could have happened. It's honestly something I don't really want to think about, but I do a lot. And to continue, I'm gonna try and not share many details here to try and protect the identity of the other people who were involved, but the same exact behavior, the same offer to fly other people out to Japan if it meant that they would stay in the same hotel room with them
No.
also happened.
I hope no one took that offer.
At another point, and with another person, they got extremely aggressive with this person for not wanting to meet up with them on a trip.
Nah,
I
dude.
feel like this behavior, to me, was extremely uncomfortable and inappropriate.
Weirdo.
Especially given that we were coworkers and we had around a 10-year age gap between us. I think
I'm sorry.
what maybe seemed like harmless flirting to them felt
You know,
very
it's-
invasive and manipulative to me. The way that they would just completely ignore my boundaries and try to kind of blur the line between professional relationships and personal ones made me feel very pressured and just ultimately unsafe.
Dude, it's behavior like this that actually enforces that whole stereotype against male VTubers.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. I guess if like chat doesn't know what I'm talking about, in the current like state of the industry right now, chat, there's like a stigma against male VTubers that they're all like creepy, like groomy, weirdo, sexual pest behavior. Like, you know, there are a lot of them are like that. And you know what? Situations like this kind of like, you know, not help that case because I do believe a lot of them are like actual just normal people. Some of them are just, you know, it's like,
Yeah, and somebody brought up a good point that I was thinking about it too, but I forgot to source the clip for that. But reminder that Quinn Bennett was very creeped out by his behavior too when he said that it was weird the way he acted about women or something.
Oh, yeah. So why do you just have to wonder why like the company still has him around.
I don't get it because like it's crazy to me. It's crazy if you guys remember properly, like one of the reasons why they terminated Sayu was because of offensive remarks regarding discrimination and sexual assault because she made a joke regarding like sexual assault. But then they're not taking this Aster situation seriously at all.
Do you think part of Nijisanji just gave up? Like the EN branch just gave up?
I don't know. But I don't want to get into that right now. I want to watch the rest of the video.
Gonna share a clip of a conversation that we had.
Okay.
Where I basically, after finding out about what my friends had went through, I basically had confronted them about it. I feel like it's kind of weird when you offer to fly girls out. Just in general.
Okay.
I'm getting a call.
In general.
Might be famous.
Oh.
I don't know, but don't you think
But it was like a half
that's-
joke.
I mean, you can't really half joke saying, I'm gonna fly you to Japan. Come stay in my hotel. That's not really a joke.
Whose voice is that?
Gee, I wonder why. I wonder who.
Like, I feel like there are some things you should and should not say to someone who is like, because like, she is a really big fan of Nijisanji. You're on your Liver account. I feel like it's very awkward for her when you're saying, like, even if it's a joke, which I don't think it is. I don't think, like, you say my joke's like unhinged or whatever, but you don't just say, I'm gonna fly you out and you can stay in my hotel room.
I mean, I guess she recorded that conversation. And she got sort of a confirmation by him. So I guess that's one receipt. She didn't provide a lot of proof for the rest of the allegations, but we've heard them from other people. It shows a pattern. Yeah.
We continued to go back and forth on it for a bit, and at one point they had said something to the effect of, well, your friend is just so nice, and I really couldn't help myself, you know, and I just felt like that kind of hit home for me. I don't think that someone being nice to you is an excuse to push their boundaries, or I don't want to say this lightly, because I do believe that my friend had it much worse than I did.
Who is she talking about?
I think he said that, like that recording that she showed. What I'm understanding, but I might be wrong about this, is that he said that joke to one of her friend, and in that recording, she's confronting him about it, and he's like, "Oh, it was just a half joke." And then after the recording ended, they went back and forth about it, and he's like, "Oh, but your friend was so nice to me," and she's like, "Well, it's not because somebody's nice to you that's an excuse to say things like that and to push their boundaries."
Was it, did she ever imply that it was, that friend was also a part of Nijisanji? Or?
Well, I see some people in the chat speculating that it's Carly, but she didn't say that, at least not yet. It's most likely one of her indie, like, VTuber friend, because she has a lot of, indie VTuber friends, it seems.
I mean, if he has a track record of being a groomer, then...
Not a groomer.
A sex pest. I'm more than willing to bet it also extends to not just Nijisanji members. It's also a lot of VTubers as well.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
Nice is an excuse to sexually harass someone. I think another thing, many people have asked why I post publicly so often, and honestly, it's because it was the only way I ever received any form of response from my job. Every private attempt at communication was met with silence or redirection. I remember at one point, recently actually, they were upset because I had stated I want to stream and said, why didn't you just ask? Despite me and others pleading for months upon months for my return, and the only reason any of this even became public was because a friend chose to expose it because...
Oh.
She's talking about the DM leaks here, I believe.
Yeah. Like, none of this would have come out if that leak didn't come out, okay?
I can't really put it any other way. I was stupid. I had trusted them. I truly considered them a friend, but it came to a point in our relationship where I felt like I had to set boundaries in response to their very abusive behavior, and they weren't happy with that. They kind of stated that this was a way to get back at me. Looking back, I feel like I realized how naive I was to think that I could just handle it all on my own, but at the time, it felt like I had no one to turn to. My coworkers were already overwhelmed and dealing with plenty of issues, and I didn't want to bring my own issues into the mix and kind of just add more stress. So
didn't she? I gotta take a look back at the leaks. I thought she leaked these on purpose. I thought she wanted this because in the leaks, she was asking which newstuber he went to, and then he said false, and she was like, "Oh, it's cooked." I have to take a look back at these receipts. Like, I have them, but they're not censored, so I couldn't pull them. I couldn't get them ready for the stream.
It could have been like a statement of like a preemptive measure to safeguard herself more than her wanting to actually leak it, But like, goddamn.
I gotta ask, is everyone recording everyone in the industry behind their back? Why are there so many recording with shit? I don't know, dude. It's fucked up. I think it's fucked up.
I don't like this sort of behavior in the industry where you like it's so petty to me that whenever you feel like you've been wronged by someone, you start dropping this shit unless it's actual criminal behavior or like something like this, like the whole like Aster shit, right? Like, you know, her being a sex pest. But like if it's just for petty drama between both of you that could have been like resolved privately, so you instead of like talking it out, you resort to actually like causing trouble for their reputation and their career. I think that's like absolute rat behavior.
Yeah, I think it's absolute rat behavior.
Like, that's kind of cringe.
Yeah, no, False had the leaks first, but False held off on it because he wanted to confirm things. He wanted to confirm things, and then Salvi made the video right away.
Oh yeah. I think that was what happened. That was also the narrative that people were running. I just believe it. I didn't have time to bit.
I guess that was very stupid of me. I'm not perfect. I've made so many mistakes, but I truly don't think I've ever acted out of malice to hurt someone else. And it does hurt to be painted as something I'm not. I only ever wanted to just do my work and take care of my fans and find a place where I could belong wholeheartedly without any fear or shame. I want to just take this moment, I guess, and I want to just sincerely apologize to my past, current, and future fans for the things that were said. I've mentioned it many times, but I just want to say it again clearly. I truly do not care about money or expect anything from you. What I had said came from a moment of frustration during a very difficult time in my life. The financial stress and feeling unsafe in my work environment and just being constantly disrespected by outsiders in my own space it made things worse. I was angry at everyone and angry at myself for not being able to do things for you. I wanted to be able to have fun events and do song covers and fun things for you guys, and being unable to just hurt. I don't want it to come off as an excuse. None of it justifies what I said, and I take full responsibility for my words, and I really am sorry if I've hurt you in any way. I also just want to clarify, the person mentioned in the video was not a fan of mine, but someone who had been stalking and harassing me and others for years.
Oh,
Even
that's
She's talking about the alleged Indian guy, right?
Yes.
Or
yes. Okay, you've seen that recording. Yeah, that's the recording that leaked 2 days ago.
Yeah. Okay.
The guy named Epic, saying he's a
Epic.
stalker
Yeah,
and stuff.
I had removed him from my community. He would continuously harass young women and Asian creators I'm trying to think of a not weird way to word it, but I guess just to fulfill his own fantasies. That still doesn't excuse the way that I spoke or the people that I hurt in the process. I let my anger and just not thinking get the best of me, and during that moment, I betrayed the trust and kindness of the people who genuinely supported me, and I'm truly sorry to those who believed in me, who waited for me. I'm so sorry. I know I let you down. I made a lot of promises that I couldn't keep. That failure is just something I don't think I can ever forget. You deserve so much better than me. I really did want to give you my all, to be the best I could for you, but in the end, I couldn't. And for that, from the bottom of my heart, I am so sorry. You really mean everything to me. I don't think I'd even be here today if it wasn't for you.
Yeah, she doesn't address like the part where she shit talks the girl from Brave Group and stuff either.
Yeah. Oh, is that it? Is that the whole stream?
Well, there's 40 more seconds.
But I think that covers everything I wanted to talk about.
Okay.
I'm sorry. This wasn't what you wanted to hear.
Oh.
This is what I felt like needed to be said.
Okay.
I feel like, you don't have to choose whether or not she's like a victim in the Nijisanji situation or whether or not she's a shitty person. I think like it can be both. Like both things can be true at once. Like she
can be true.
She can be a shitty person and she can be Manhera, and she's also a victim of.
Yeah.
And she got put put in uncomfortable situation with Aster. She has her back against the wall financially because of the Nijisanji stuff. She can't stream now for multiple months.
But at the same time, you are right in the sense that, like, you know, she was like fucking trash talking people. Like she was hitting on people. Well, okay, not hitting in the flirty sense, but she was like attacking people left and right. People that didn't involve herself or really anyone that should be involved in her situation. Like it's kind of I don't know what to make of that. God damn.
Multiple people have said that she like kind of just speaks that way. Like she's kind of always been like that. Now, whether she means what she says or like she says just words, that's for you guys to decide. But like this person, like after her apology, do you remember that manager from Noah Talent?
Mm-hmm.
She went off on her on social media. Do you remember Quinn from like Noah Talents? Do you remember her?
Yeah.
She's like, now that I know her past life, this ain't authentic at all. This is truly you. Hi, Flair. No wonder you failed so many companies, including VLR, which you auditioned for while still under Niji.
Wow. Whoa.
Right?
Okay. Dude.
And then this... Wait, with this they're facing someone told me her past life cause turns out it was someone named Flair who used to harass me and was very mental. Once I confirmed it, I can say that yes, she is truly this way. It's sad to see she never changed.
You know, literally everyone would just avoid a lot of problems in their life if they just learned how to shut the fuck up. Like literally everyone.
I mean,
like, oh my god.
Yeah, but I mean, she was venting to one of her close friends. Apparently, that indie Vtuber she was talking to was like one of her longtime friend.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I mean, it doesn't really excuse her, but like I guess she felt that she
That's
was
still,
in a
yeah, it is.
It was a
It's still
safe
valid.
environment. She thought she was in a safe. I mean, I don't know who the Drinos guys. I think he's like a fan of her. So who knows? Somebody in that call must have leaked it. Somebody in that call must have leaked it, right?
I mean, really, how else can we even explain it, man?
Yeah.
Who else would really have that? Would have that audio if not like it's kind of bad. Oh my god. Honestly, I don't know how to react to it. It's like a lot of things all at the same time.
I know. There's so much to unpack. But yeah, do you feel like the Niji's outlook on graduations and scandal has changed after the Selengate thing? Because like before, they terminated Zion, for just doing essay jokes. She didn't even finish saying, mind you. And then for this issue, for example, they're like, according to what Twisty's saying, trying to like cover it up or something. It's
my actual opinion is that I think Nijisanji just gave up. Like I think for quite some time now. Maybe I would like to think it was probably after the Selen drama. They saw that all their work, all their fruit, it has all been kind of fruitless rather, and like they don't really like. It's hard to keep up morale and keep working in an environment like that. So they just decided to like throw in the towel and stop. I think that's what happened. But like I don't know how else to describe it. Not describe it, like explain it rather. Yeah.
But throw in the towel, that means that we're not going to get an investigation, that they're going to keep these two livers suspended forever, or?
I think they will at one point, because if it's getting this, like, I think they would need like one catalyst to trigger it. Like this one could be it. But I think if this was not like leaked, if this whole situation did not come out, I think they would just stick. I don't think they would have done anything about it. Yeah, I think perpetually, or like maybe for like 2 years, they might even have pulled that succubus VTuber from the JP.
Yeah,
that didn't like. Yeah, that wasn't actually a technical graduation, but she was still there.
Roa.
Like, I think that might have happened. Yeah, Roa.
Yeah.
I think that might have been what would have happened. But now with this, it might change. Like their hands might be forced to, their hand is forced to act on this.
Oh right, yeah, but yes, and maybe that's why she added all of this info, because she's just like, I don't care, I'm going scorched earth, and I want out, or
yeah, like. Because there's nothing, it could be like a lot of frustrations on Twisty's part for me, honestly. Like,
I mean, she said that none of her inquiries were ever answered unless she made them public.
Yeah, exactly. Like, this is actually just not necessarily a power move, but like I think this is kind of deliberate in the sense that Twisty wants something done. So, and this whole being leaked situation is like is that thing that made her do this instead of just covering it up. Like she has nothing to lose anymore, basically. So boom. But then again, that whole settlement confuzzles me because I saw a lot of rats in chat saying that it could be like hush money, and like it's not necessarily the first time a VTuber agency wanted to pay hush money for something. You know, it's like ooh.
Somebody sent you a super chat. Nuzagi, I remember when you covered the Twisty situation and said you can see her do well as an indie because of how Manhera she is. If only we knew how things would have spiraled to this point.
Dude, okay. So this is like a very divisive situation for her, right? Like obviously people are gonna absolutely hate her, but people are also gonna absolutely like want to support her. Because nothing, this sounds so bad. This might sound bad or counterintuitive, but nothing is more like profitable for a VTuber if they are sad as fuck and need support, or if they're desperate and has their back against the wall. And like, yeah, normally I would say maybe not anymore. But after this situation, I can genuinely see her doing well now, because you damn well know that there are still going to be a lot of people that will still support her after this and might even support her even better after this.
Oh, yeah.
She's gonna be like probably gonna be super isolated from the rest of the indie scene because of how volatile her brand might be. But like just by herself, I can still see her doing really well. I mean, your complex type of shit.
Yeah, if Gunpei has an audience, she definitely does. Yeah, so do you think Nijisanji will answer this? Like, do you think they'll do something in the following days? Do you think we can, look at their Twitter and maybe see a notice or a graduation?
No.
You think they're gonna ignore this?
I think they're gonna ignore this, and like Aster is going to be the one that's gonna say something. That's how, like, it's sad, but that's how low I think of Nijisanji right now. Like, incompetence I can forgive, right? Because we're all incompetent to a certain degree, right?
Okay.
But like this is assuming, by the way, that like what Twist is saying is true. But like if they're actively suppressing this information and like not doing anything just to actively not doing anything for it, not trying to fix their situation, not trying to resolve anything at all,
yeah,
then I don't think that's incompetence anymore. That's actually just them trying to to a certain extent, it's malicious, at least. Yeah. And I don't think, and if you've reached that point, then I don't think there's no saving you at that point. You're going to be like desperately just not. You're gonna trottle along. You're not gonna do anything. Put your hands on your ears. Blah 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 it until it all goes away. Because Nijisanji has been through that before. To a certain extent, people stop talking about it after the drama, after the peak of the drama has subsided. And that's going to be, I think, what they're going to do going forward as well.
Hey, you! Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that bell button. And I'll see you in the next video.